I'm going to, I know that Dan Verity is the producer and director, but today he's probably going to be the person that's going to interview. So why don't you go ahead, Dan? Just take it.
Well, we're joined here today by Marc Murphy, who's the assistant director of the Okeechobee Campus at Faith Farm Ministries. Welcome, Marc.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I see you're in a golf cart. So does that mean you're going to give us a tour?
That's what I'm hoping to do. Yes,
all
sir.
righty. All right. Well, take it away. Let's see what we have going on today.
All right. This is our front lawn area. Got our sign in the background, kind of just saying who we are. I'm going to try turning this video around so you can be pointed forward. And then
looks
take
good.
off. Yeah, we're going to go right over here to a lake we have in the front here. A small little pond, actually, not so much a lake. And it's a neat place for us. It's where we do our baptismos now. And actually, we'll be doing a baptismo this Sunday. The guys want to publicly, display their commitment to the Lord. And we do that right in there. It's a great time. So we're looking forward to that.
I hope there's no alligators in there.
There's a little one, but he's friendly, so he shares. This is our front main building where all our administrative offices are. Our chapel's in here. And this is the building that Pastor Lee Jolica brought you through a tour on his interview. Now you kind of see the outside. Yeah, he walked through the classrooms, the dining room, and so forth.
Yes.
So this is the outside of it. So you're going to see a little more of the campus today. I'll go around on the grounds. Over here is our outside pavilion that we had built several years ago. Raised money strictly through donations, and people contributed to it. A lot of work was done by men in the program.
Beautiful.
And we do all our outside events. It's a big place for visitation for families of the men that are in the program, spend their Sunday afternoons in there. Where we do our annual Christmas student party every year. And it's just a little nice outside pavilion for us to have our gatherings and events in. And then we have some little pavilions that's also used on Sunday afternoons when the families come to visit, and they can have their private areas with the men in the program. We got a small playground down there for, because a lot of guys in the program have children, where the children can come and just kind of play and have a good time, with their father or brother or uncle or even grandpa sometimes,
Marc, can I ask you a question? Will you explain where Okeechobee really is? And if we lived in Palm Beach County, how would we get there?
Basically, you take the B line, which is also called 710, from Blue Heron, and you take that all the way. You go through Indian River for probably about another 30 minutes after that. And it brings you pretty much right into Okeechobee. Or if you're coming on 95, you take 95 north, and you would go for maybe about 40 minutes, get off at Midway, St. Lucie County, and we're just in from the coast. So, from Palm Beach, it's probably about an hour ride, 45 minutes to an hour, depending on where you're at in Palm Beach and what way you travel.
Okay, I see. Thank you. And is it true that when people come to Faith Farm, they get to choose if they want to go to the Okeechobee campus or Palm Beach County or Fort Lauderdale?
They do. It's actually the very first question when they do the online application. They ask them to select a campus. And then they pick which campus they want to go in right when they start filling out the application. And basically it is the same program, just 3 different locations, and each location just has this little uniqueness about it. But the same program, and it's all about helping men step into a relationship with Christ and overcome some of their life controlling problems.
Okay. So Dan, are you familiar with Okeechobee out there?
I am. Yes, I've actually driven past the Faith Farm campus several times. Sometimes we take that. Sometimes we take that way when we go visit my mom on the west coast of Florida.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Nice, sleepy little town. It's a perfect place for something like Faith Farm.
Okay. How long have you been there, Marc?
I've been here about 15 and a half years. So
Really?
it's been a while, yeah.
Okay. Are there alligators out there?
There is, yeah. We got a couple of them. I woke up this morning and I had 6 deer and the pasture in my backyard, which that was kind of neat too. Me and my wife and kid got to go out and look at them, and it was like 3 adults and they all had like a little baby with them. So that was pretty
Oh,
neat. Yeah, yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
so tell us about, I know that your thrift shop is not there, located there, but downtown. What's downtown Okeechobee like?
There's not a whole lot to it. You know, we have guys that come into the program or the family and say, "Where's the mall?" And they say, "Well, Walmart's on 441 Parrot Ave."
Uh-huh.
Through the years, we do have gotten a couple of things, but it's a pretty small town with a lot of good country folk, and you know, a lot of people that love the Lord. So it's really cool. Kind of proud to be part of the community in town.
Right. Okay, so I'm not, unfortunately, I can't see. You can see me, but I can't see the property, but I did see a lot of it before. But why do you, who mows all that? I mean, I guess all the people who are the students, that's part of what their responsibility is, right? You feed them, clothe them, teach them, and then they work to help.
Exactly, and it's just one of the job crews that we have. We have guys that work on the lawn crew, and that's what they do all day. They cut the grass, they weed whack, they trim the trees, and just kind of keep up on the upkeep of all the landscape. And the men move around. They don't have the same job the whole time. But whoever's on the lawn crew that day, they're the ones cutting grass and weed whacking and doing all those day-to-day duties. And they do a great job of keeping the upkeep of our landscape and the bushes trimmed and just make it look really nice, especially on Saturdays. They work really hard for all the visitors that come Sunday for church and the families of the loved ones. And, you know, we have a really good group of guys here, and they do well.
And so you have a church there on the premises, though?
We do. Our chapel's right in our front main building. And that's where the guys are actually in there all week long. During the week, where they have their morning quiet time. They start their day with just a quiet place, reading the Bible, seeking the Lord, spending some time in prayer. Then Wednesday night we gather for some praise and worship service, and then we break up into small groups. And then Sundays when we have our church service right there too. We have a live praise and worship band that's made up of some of the staff, some of the guys in the program, some of the people in the community that have been a part of Faith Farm and just support what we do here, and just come, you know, share some of their talents and offer to our praise team, which is really good. And then it isn't open to the community, so the people in the community do come as well.
And you know what I have always really begged, not quite begged, but I suggest that people donate to Faith Farm Ministries, because you can see the good that is done there. They're not, and the administrative costs are very low. Most of all the money that's gotten from the, from the pickups of all the clothing and goods or the sales, really go to house. How many people are actually housed there at Okeechobee?
Right now in our program, we have about 40, give or take. I don't know the exact number, but I think we're just under 40.
And what I think Dan said that looks like the hurricane could be coming to us. And so what kind of precautions do you have to take when something like that happens there?
Well, our main dormitory, where all the men sleep, is pretty secure. It's built to withstand, I forget the exact number, but pretty good winds. We put hurricane shutters up in all the houses, so we're prepared for that. We have portable generators, and actually, not so much portable, but every building has its own generator. Most of the houses have their own generator. We have big fuel tanks that we top off. So we're usually in pretty good shape. We make sure we're stocked up on food. We have a couple walk-in freezers, and make sure we're prepared for the worst and pray for the best.
Right. Well, it's great, that you're doing this. And so, Dan, why don't you kind of explain, because I can't really see this now. Unfortunately, my computer's not working properly. But will you explain what you're seeing there? Is that pretty out there?
Yes, it is. In fact, I was remarking to Mark before we started recording that right now outside my window, it's pretty gray and it looks like we're going to get thunderstorms. But Mark is pretty lucky. It looks like it's beautiful skies there and a nice day.
Yeah, don't be
The
fooled,
calm before the
right?
storm, right?
You know what they say about Florida? If you don't like the water, just wait 20 minutes.
That's right. Exactly. Yes,
That's
that is
very
true.
Well, I was thinking about, so people, you said from the outside, now the families, let's talk about them. So let's say someone comes there for, restoration. And how long is it before they can actually have their family come? I forgot what it was, a month or
We
something?
do have a 30-day period for that before they get on visitation.
Mm-hmm. And then after that, is it every week they can come on a Sunday, or how do you do that?
Every Sunday, they're welcome to come.
I see. Well, it's there's a reason for all this, isn't there? You've been there, you said, I think 12 years. Is that what you said?
About 15 and a half.
15 and a half. How did you find it?
Well, I was struggling with my own addiction, and the Lord just kind of brought me here, and I was over in a detox. And I actually had an uncle, and I was pretty young at the time, but I knew he had some life controlling issues as well. I went to a place called Faith Farm. I didn't know a whole lot about it, but I was at the detox and I inquired about it. And this was in St. Lucie County. And he had went to the Boynton Farm, and the counselor actually knew about Faith Farm. And he said, actually, there's one over in Okeechobee, which happened to be in the next town over. So some calls were made, and one thing led to another, and got here and was grateful. It's a free program besides a $100 entry fee. I don't know of any other programs that are like that. And I was able to, get the Lord in my life and get my life back on track and overcome some of my addictions and struggles. And the Lord kind of planted me here to be a part of this, and it's just been great being part of something that changed my life. And, I live right here on the campus now with all the other staff, and have a great wife and 2 kids ever since I got my life back together, and just blessed to see other men come out of the horrible pits of addiction and get their lives back as well.
Yeah. So Dan, how did you hear about this organization before you worked with us?
Well, actually, I recall when I used to live in Oakland Park, and we used to go to the Faith Farm thrift store down there in Fort Lauderdale. And well, I have to say that I know firsthand, now I live here in Boynton Beach, this piece of furniture behind me I purchased from the thrift store in brand new, and I have to say that I was so impressed. Everybody in the thrift store, all the personnel are members of the program, and they're just wonderful people. From the salesman that helped me out to the gentleman that brought this piece up 3 flights of stairs and put it together. And I was just so pleased. And at the same time, which I became aware of later on, the proceeds from that sale went to help the program. And so that was just a special treat all the way around. So every time I see that piece of furniture and I use it, I think of all the guys at Faith Farm. And of course, having recovered myself, it takes special meaning to me.
Yes, I'm sure it is. And I was thinking about when we moved from our house, we had a 2-story house and we had a piano, and I wanted to donate it to Faith Farm. And someone said, oh, they'll never get it down those 2 flights and it's going to get destroyed. I said, I don't think so. They're very trained. And sure enough, they did come and they did get it down very carefully. And the piano is now in the Palm Beach County facility there in the church. And I don't know if it's in the church area or it's one of the rooms. and it's being used there. It's my mother's piano, and they even have a little plaque on there. So I'm very excited about that, Mark.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, you can't do enough, really. You know, and I have spoken to so many people who have been a member there, a student, and some stay, some leave, some come back. But it's been what, how many years? 68 years or something that Pappy first started this? I forget the number, but it's a long
Yeah, it's
time.
been a long time. Yeah, it's right about there. Again, I don't know the exact number either, but it's in the 60s.
Yeah, so, and you know, the other thing I've noticed, and probably you have because you've been there so long, that some of the people who have come and gone actually have started their own mission.
Yeah, there's been people that have gone and just done what God's calling them to do. And, you know, but it's great. You hear so many stories of men, even if they don't start their own mission, just have an impact on other people's lives. This week was a little bit of a bittersweet week for me. Saturday, I got a phone call and news of a former student had passed away.
Oh,
Graduated in 2009. Of course,
oh,
I've been here for like 100 years, so I remembered him very well. He had a sudden heart attack, early
really?
40s. But I was encouraged to hear, although I didn't stay in contact when we have so many people coming and go, and he was just in the next town over, to hear that his life was changed forever, ever since he left Bay Farms. For the last 11, 12 years, he was walking out a successful recovery, living for the Lord, and was helping so many other people. I went to a service Monday night, and it was a packed house. And I heard story after story about how he was the rock of the family and just had got his own company. And how he just was glorifying God in everything he did. And was meeting people there that, hey, he was helping me in my recovery. I just met him a couple of weeks ago. And it was just encouraging. That's what we want to do here at Faith Farm. You know, discipleship men, so when they leave, they have an impact on this world. And that's what this young man did the last 11 years. And it was sad that, you know, what happened, his passing, but I know he's with the Lord, and I was encouraged at how many lives he was touching after.
Yes.
He performed.
Yeah, that's very true. And I know that the thing that you see is how people who work there, live there, they are so, and I'm going to use it, they're so enthusiastic about what happens. And I know that they can't convince someone to come there if they don't want to come. But when people do come, it does change their life. I've been to many of the graduations, and I've been, of course, to the big annual, you know, get together once a year.
Yeah, the homecoming's a great time.
Yeah, homecoming it is absolutely so inspirational. Dan, I don't think you've ever been to one of them, and I will tell you, if you ever get a chance, it is so exciting, even the graduation, because people feel very free to talk about the worst part of their lives. And sometimes you wonder, but they feel if they could tell about it and make other people feel good about what they're going through, then that's why they do it, right?
Absolutely, and that that is part of the recovery process. It's very important that people in recovery learn to assist others who may need help. It's a very big part of the program. Mark, if somebody feels like they have a problem with drugs or alcohol, and they're considering going to Faith Farm, what is the first thing that they should do?
The very first thing is go to the website, faithfarm.org. They can read about the program, read some testimonies on there, and just kind of get a feel what Faith Farm is all about. For them to make a decision, if they think that's something they want to pursue and think the program's for them, they can do the online application right then and there. And then from there, they can follow up with the intake office. And then that begins the screening process. And then the intake office will have an initial conversation with them. And we'll usually set up a phone interview, which will be a secondary call. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes. And then they just go from there. They do the interview. They feel like, you know, good fit for the program, and the program's really a good fit for the person. you know, we bring them in and help them get their life back on track, and with the Lord's help, because that's what it's all about. You know, allowing the Lord into their life and helping them step into that personal, intimate relationship with Jesus.
It is. And should they, if it's determined that they require detox, is that something that you do at your facility, or do you recommend they go to a local hospital, or how exactly do you do that?
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not a medical facility in any level, so we can't handle detoxing, because depending on what the person's coming off of, how long they've been on, you know, detox can be, you know, may need some medical, you know, assistance. So they do have to do it before they come here, and some people can just do it at home. Some people go to a detox facility, or maybe a short-term program, or even a hospital. But it's kind of up to the individual. Again, a big contributing factor is, you know, what they've been using, how long they've been using, how much they've been using, and so forth. So it varies you know, from each individual.
Right. And now this is a residential program, is that right? Would you
Correct. The guys
consider that
live here,
residential?
they live here for about almost a year. It's about a 10 to 12 month program.
And
And
then,
the one,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead. That's a good.
And then now, what if they have families? They've got jobs. I mean, I understand that recovery is probably the most important thing that they can do at that moment. But supposing they have families, I understand that you can make provisions for families at some point.
That's something new we're getting into, some new territory, you know, and we're hoping it's going to be expanding to offer the restoration of the family and extending the ministry to that. But it's something we're doing on a limited scale right now, and but we're praying that God's going to expand that territory, and we're going to be able to do a lot more and extend past just the individual, but help the restoration of the family as a whole as well.
That's great.
You know, the other thing, Dan, and you know, and Mark, the fact that I don't know how long it's been that you have taken in women, because I know I've heard from so many of the directors and the CEO and all that. That's a tough thing to do because they have to leave their kids and stuff, but it's been successful. And I think totally you may have like 25, 30 women.
I'm not sure the exact number, because when we have one campus, it takes the females, and that's at Boynton Beach, Okeechobee, and Fort Lauderdale, where campuses are male only.
I see. Yeah, but you know, it is now it's becoming a woman's world. We see everywhere around us, but they've really been through a lot of very difficult times, and they need help. They really do, and you have a safe harbor there for them.
Yep.
So, you know, I want to keep people understanding this. So if somebody wants to donate, you have to go to faithfarm.org. Very easy, faithfarm.org. And I have really asked so many people to donate. And it's one thing to call and to have them pick up your unwanted products, goods, or to go to the various thrift shops and buy things, as Dan did and I've done, but really cash is pretty nice. So, and the other way you can do this is when you're working on your will. I don't want you to forget Faith Farm, because that's a way for you to know that you've done something, no matter if you're living or you passed away. I mean, I just think that it's important.
Every dime we receive, we're so grateful for the support and the donations we receive, and we strive to be good stewards with every cent that comes in as well, you know, and try to get the best use of whatever it is, whether it's, you know, a donation or monetary. We try to be good stewards with everything and stretch everything as far as we can go, and so that way there's more men we can help.
Yeah. And I'm sure, I'm sure that what happens is it's not perfect, because I'm sure that there are people who come there, and I've heard this before, that they say, there's no way I'm going to do this. And they're not going to tell me what to do. And what do you mean I'm going to start? I don't get to watch TV anytime. And when I do get to, everything's under rules and regulations. And now you probably have them all wearing masks. There are people who have attitudes. That's probably where they got in trouble. So when you see this, do you ask them to leave? How does that work?
That's our last option. We understand they have issues. That's why they're coming here, and they don't know how to live and respond to situations, and they act out of their emotions. So we try to help them navigate through that, point out their character deflects, help them to correct it, develop some godly characteristics, you know, and that they'll grow from it. But if you got a guy that's unteachable, unreceptive to what you're telling them, that's a difficult person to work with. And sometimes they may get to the point where they can no longer stay. But our hope is that each and every man that comes here will grab a hold of what's being offered to them and turn their life around and leave a changed man and have an impact on the world and start living for the Lord and just be a light. And we tell them we're not here to get you sober. Sobriety is going to be a byproduct of you walking with the Lord.
Well, I have to say that I've spoken to so many of the students there, and many of them, especially when I see the graduation, and everybody bonds together. I mean, it's like they're all brothers. I mean, have you had the same thing going on, that you've met some really good people there and they're like your buddies all the time?
It's true. There's a very strong camaraderie and a bond that develops here, especially with the men in the program. You see one guy having a bad day and struggling, and you see the other men just come around him and lift him up and encourage him and pray with him and for him. You know, or if somebody's isolating, they recognize it and they just come alongside that young man and just help them. They help each other. You know? And one day, the one guy that's struggling, he's going to be helping another guy out the next day, because it goes both ways, and it's great to see them starting to do that and lift each other up.
Well, Marc Murphy, the Assistant Director of Okeechobee Campus, Faith Farm Ministries, I really do thank you for being here with us today and for talking about this wonderful organization. And Dan, of course, you've become the co-host today. That was great. Thank you for always being there. So I guess we're going to have to say goodbye now, but, you know, any last words, Dan?
Well, Faith Farm is just an amazing art organization. And Marc, of course, is the assistant director with the Okeechobee campus, but they also have locations in Boynton Beach and Fort Lauderdale. And if you're looking for help, even if you're questioning whether or not this is something for you, please give them a call. The main phone number to call is 561-737-2222, or you can go to faithfarm.org and speak to a counselor, and they'll just show you the way to Faith Farm and the Lord, and get you the help that you need. And so, Marc, we greatly appreciate the tour today. That was a special treat, and we hope that we can stay safe from the hurricane, and we hope that everybody stays happy and healthy there in view of the COVID-19 problems we're having. And we really appreciate your help today.
All right, well, I was glad to be joined with you guys today. It was great to talk with you guys again.
Thank you very much, Marc, really. Okay.
Thanks so much.
All right, bye.
Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
If you or someone you know is having an addiction problem, there's a place that can help. It's called Faith Farm Ministries. What's important for those without addiction is that Faith Farm Ministries is supported by their 3 amazing thrift stores and by donations. Most people are not aware of the wonderful work they do for our fellow citizens. The way you can help is to make sure that their work continues. It's easy. bring unwanted items to their locations during the day or put them in their drop boxes. Then, be sure to go and buy new or used items from their thrift stores. They're located in Fort Lauderdale, Boynton Beach, and in Okeechobee. Faith Farm Ministries makes the entire process a win-win to help and to get help, maybe even for yourself. For information, call 561-737-2259. That's Faith Farm Ministries, 561-737-2259. Or go online to www.faithfarm.org.